After a booking mistake, 4 drag queens find themselves performing for a mostly unwelcoming crowd. But when vampires attack, the crowd looks to the queens to save the day. This week we're watching Slay.
Hello?
Oh, hi.
Oh my god.
Oh, you did it this time. Yay.
I did this. Right. We swapped. Just kidding, I stole it. Just kidding.
So, this week, we watched Slay.
Yes, we watched Slay.
A to-be original.
Yes, to be original. Yeah, we watched Slay. It came out in 2024, so last year, as of this video being released. It's directed by Jem Gerard, starring a few drag queens from Drag Race.
Yes.
4 to be specific. We've got Trinity the Tuck,
Yes.
Heidi N Closet, Crystal Method, and Caramel.
Caramel. She was from UK. Drag
She's from the
Race, right?
UK.
Okay.
Drag Race.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
3
she's
of them
not
from the
UK.
American one. One of them from the UK, but I think she originally is from the United
Yes,
States.
I think she
and she moved
is
over
American,
to the
yeah.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
All of them very good on their seasons, and in future seasons that they were on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Heidi is absolutely one of my favorites ever.
So funny.
She's just so funny.
Like naturally funny.
Yeah, effortlessly funny.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. And she was effortlessly funny. I can't talk. She was effortlessly funny in this movie also. Drag queens acting. No, So, it's painful for me personally to watch the acting challenges on Drag Race because they're usually just awful. It's painful to watch.
It's hard for me to watch.
Embarrassing, really.
Yeah. It's hard for me to watch, not because all of them are bad, but because I used to do acting.
Yeah.
So the way that they do act was like the kids I used to act with in theater, including myself, and you act on a stage.
Yeah, they play too big, usually.
Yeah, it's too big, and it's kind of like secondhand embarrassment, but also reliving my embarrassment somewhat of being on stage. Like, my grandpa would always tell me that I was very natural on stage. But as a teenager, you're never natural on stage.
No.
But yeah, it's very big. I mean, for a movie like this, it works.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by 3 of them. And it was actually pretty good. I mean, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the acting, especially Caramel.
Oh, she was great.
It was good. She was great.
She was great. She did actually feel natural.
Yeah, she felt pretty natural. Yeah. Trinity felt fairly natural. She was pretty good.
Yeah, plus I thought she felt that mother type of role pretty well.
Heidi was not natural. However, what she was doing worked.
Yeah.
Because her comedic timing was perfect.
Yeah.
And she just, it worked for for that role, which was, major comic relief. It worked,
Yeah.
Even though Crystal Method's character was supposed to be, she's never going to listen to this, was supposed to be comic relief. It wasn't that funny.
Even if she does, we love
acting,
you, Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, I still absolutely love her, but the acting, that was the one that just really drew me out of it.
Yeah, I felt like she's, she played up the ditzy, which was good because her character's like the ditzy one.
It just sounded like a RuPaul acting challenge.
It's just the timing. It was just the timing was a little off with her lines and everything, and it's hard to do that whenever somebody like Heidi comes in with just a random one-liner that's perfectly timed in there.
Exactly. We only needed one, funny. We only needed the one that was like that. We didn't need another one that was ditzy.
We have Trinity, who's a kind of a balance, but she's the bitchy, funny, kind of serious.
Yeah.
And Caramel was obviously the very serious one.
Very serious, very bitchy one.
Yeah, yes. And then we had kind of 2 comedic ones kind of competing it out for the comedic time.
But it wasn't a competition.
It was not a competition.
So.
Heidi, even if sometimes it sounds like she's reading from a script, the timing she has is crazy.
It didn't matter, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell whenever she's throwing a one-liner out because the one-liners always sounded really good and the timing was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, in case you couldn't tell by us talking, this was a horror comedy.
Yeah.
As it does start drag queens. It is vampires and drag queens.
Vampires versus drag queens. Yeah.
You could have called it that.
That would have been Vampires versus drag queens.
I mean, Slay was a good title, but you could have called it Vampires
Absolutely.
versus drag queens.
There was also some good actors besides.
Yeah.
The supporting cast was great.
Supporting cast was very good. I love the bartender.
He was great.
I'm trying to remember his name now.
I can't remember his name.
His name in the movie is Dusty.
Yeah.
Neil Sandilands. But I just love that he's like this like closeted guy running this like biker bar.
Yeah.
Who obviously booked these queens, who isn't going to act like he did.
Yeah.
He's just like super excited that they're there. And I just love that, like, as cheesy as it is, gets to live his truth by the end of the movie.
Yes.
But he was amazing. And so was the woman who played Sheila.
Sheila was the star of this movie.
She was so good.
She was so fucking funny.
With that, like, high-pitched kind of Jennifer Tilly voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was basically the hag who hangs out in a gay bar.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's the drunken
older
that's
hag
what she was.
who comes in with like the funny line
that everyone loves.
Yeah. He's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like...
Exactly.
So good.
The other actors were really good too, and it's funny because I just had to look this up at the end because they all sounded like they had an accent just under the surface when they were talking, and they are all South African, and this movie was filmed in South Africa. So, there you go.
It's got to be like a tax thing or something.
Yeah, it had to have been like a budget thing for sure.
Which, speaking of budget things, I mean, one of the funniest parts in this for me was there was that scene where they open the door.
The narration of the action.
And it's like they don't show any of the fighting outside, but they're narrating it, and you just hear Caramel say like, "Oh, they're gonna need a real big budget to show any."
Yeah, they were like, "Wow, all this fighting, they're gonna need a real big budget to show all of this."
He got his head cut off, and it's like slowly going by, and she's like in slow motion. Don't even have to show the action for it to be amazing. Like,
just an absolutely ridiculous fucking movie, but I actually enjoyed myself.
Yeah, but that's fun.
It was good. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Just for you listeners, not every movie has to be overly serious.
No.
Not even the comedies.
So, I guess we should start with, the beginning.
Yeah, we kind of cut in the middle there. We can go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Heidi in Closet, or Bella Du Bois. Is that her name?
No, she was Robin Banks.
Oh, no. Robin Banks was Heidi. Heidi in Closet was Robin Banks.
Yeah, Crystal Method was Bella Du Bois.
Which is so confusing to me because someone who I used to work with on their show most of the time when I was doing drag was Robin Banks.
It's a very good name.
It's a very good name. It's there's probably a few Robin Banks.
Probably.
Yeah, out there. Anyway. In her special mind, she accidentally gets booked at this bar in the middle of nowhere. Who doesn't say what state or anything. It's probably like, one of the Dakotas or
right.
Yeah, it was just in the middle of nowhere.
In the desert.
Because she confused the name with some other place that they really wanted to perform at. Which wouldn't they have noticed way beforehand that they're driving out in the middle of
unless you
nowhere?
didn't tell them.
That's true. Just obliviously. Yeah, okay.
Because it was like one word off.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So they end up at this bar in the middle of nowhere. It's like a bunch of bikers.
I do love the neon sign because it was like giving like a budget from Dusk Till Dawn bar.
Yes, it did.
Small time from Dusk Till Dawn bar because that bar was huge. This one's like, it's like we're doing it on a budget.
We're using this bar that was already in the
desert, probably abandoned.
Yeah,
we just made it.
I do think it's funny that it was a biker bar because like bikers are generally the most open-minded of the hicks. No, it's true.
I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah. Generally, they are the most open-minded and nicest, which is interesting. There is one huge bigot, though, in the movie. There's like the stereotypical kind of like, bigoted guy.
Travis.
That would be his name.
That would be the...
And the bartender meets them, and he seems like a really nice guy. And it was obvious right off the bat that he wanted them there. To me, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because he was acting like, it must have been this girl who works the days, but the way he was acting, he's like, he obviously wanted.
It was very obvious acting. Right?
Yeah.
Like wink, wink. Mind you, he was a good actor. Honestly, I thought he was really good. They get shown the dressing room, and that is bigger than some of the dressing rooms I've been in. Specifically, the show with Robin Banks, where it was a closet. Essentially, it was a closet.
I have heard horror stories from some drag queens about the dressing rooms they've had to deal with.
Yeah, dressing rooms are terrible. The worst one is this bar that's right next to us over here. Actually, it closed down. It's on the same street. The dressing room was through the men's room. So you had to walk through the men's room to the dressing room. Oh my God. Which is like the most awkward... it was so weird. No. And it was just this long kind of utility closet.
I just think because I know probably most of the time you end up with the drag bar, somebody's taken over like an older bar and turned it into one.
Yeah. So it wasn't set up to be a show bar.
Right.
But you could do something better than that.
But at a certain point, if you're making enough money, maybe just build it out a little bit.
Yeah. Just put up a wall or a curtain in a big area where people can actually get ready. Yeah. It was... That's true.
Right? Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, they don't really take care of the talent at most gay bars.
I can see that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
They don't particularly care.
I know sometimes it's not the person like booking the queens. It's really one of the main queens that really looks after the other queens and not the person owning the bar.
Yeah, that's true. Like whoever the host is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've heard there are some very, very cool hosts here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That definitely look out for the people that they have in their shows and stuff.
Yeah. The people who run the queer, not queer agenda, queer arcana.
Queer Arcanum.
Arcana?
Arcanum?
I think it's Arcana.
No, Queer Arcana. You're right.
Yeah.
That was me. Queer Arcana.
Awesome people.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one of them that isn't there anymore, not an awesome person, but awesome people. And I've worked with like some really nice. Yeah, I think most of the hosts I've worked with have been super nice. And they take care of you.
See, so I used to dress up as a kid, but I've never fully been put in actual drag. Always wanted to.
Yeah.
Just never had a chance or an opportunity.
You know, if
there's any queens listening to this.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I had any sort of inclination or any more to do any drag, I would do that for you.
If there's any queens listening to this who want to put a somewhat husky 6'4" man into drag,
I'm sure they would like nothing more.
For the first time.
I'm sure they would like nothing more.
I can't guarantee that I will lip sync. But who knows? Once you're in drag, something changes a little bit, I've heard.
You could do a scene from Twin Peaks or something. I think that would be good.
Act out a scene from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
My tribute to David Lynch.
Yeah.
He'd probably love it. If he was still here, he'd probably love it.
Yeah. Was David Duchovny in...
David Duchovny was in Twin Peaks playing a trans woman.
Okay, that's what I thought. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
And, like, David Lynch's character is, like, insanely supportive of everything they do.
Oh yeah, he seemed like a supportive, like, it's interesting because he was like kind of this like optimistic, supportive, like sober, like just like everything that
transcendental meditation every day for years of his life, like all this stuff had a foundation, and yet he can be such an asshole. Which is hilarious. But it's funny asshole. It's funny, it's like though. Funny asshole. It's fun to work with asshole. It's not...
And the things he created were so fucked up and weird, you know, that it just... I like people like that have a real dichotomy of like who they are and then what they create. Like that meme of Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki. Who,
oh yeah, Spirited Away.
He makes these like fanciful, amazing, pretty, cute things, and then he's like, people are horrible. I want to die. Like, maybe I won't make it till tomorrow. It's just so depressing.
So depressing, and then Spirited Away. And
yeah, and then there's that other guy,
Howl's Moving Castle.
Ito. Is it Ito?
Junji Ito.
Junji Ito
does the horror.
Who's like
stuff.
Who's like the most bubbly, like pink, like woo kind of like guy, and he writes the darkest,
creepiest horror comics and manga ever.
That's always my favorite. I love that. Anyway.
Tangent.
Where were we?
Welcome to the stage, Tangent.
Tangential. 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 Okay. Trinity the Tuck was talking about tucking, and I never tucked. Never done that.
You never did that?
Never tucked. Why would I do that when I wear like
layers and layers
old
of
lady dresses? There was no need.
I know. I have photos of this.
I never wore like cute stuff. Anyway.
Well, and that's her thing. Is tuck. I mean, she's Trinity the Tuck.
Exactly.
She's like perfected it.
Exactly. What do you do well? I put my genitals up inside of it, and I tape them.
And possibly other people.
I do it really well.
Oh my god.
Half of the bikers in there were gay too, like obviously.
You could tell.
It was it was just funny. But also some of them were like they were local South African talent that they picked up for some of them too, and it was like they were rough. Some of them were like rough and ready. So they, I think there was a nice mix of like some of the mains being very queer.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and then the extras not so much.
There was one that turned into a vampire who had an amazing mullet.
Yes,
the curly
he was
mullet.
very gay. That one,
He
in
was
the overalls and the mullet,
super attractive too.
Like the perfectly clean overalls.
It was like the red sweater
with the red sweater
and the curly haired mullet, and I was like, "Is
gorgeous?"
This just a reference to Crystal's old mullet, the El DeBarge?
Oh, maybe.
But, he was amazing.
Yeah.
I love too that like they have so many references to a bunch of stuff. I mean, they bring it up like vampires aren't real, unless Buffy's been lying to me, like unless Blade's been whatever.
Yeah, they were like, are these Blade vampires
or
are these
Buffy vampires?
Yeah. Oh, that bartender. I said this while we were watching it. He reminded me of Chris Christopherson.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
In Big Top Pee-wee. It was that vibe, Like I'm kind of a redneck, but I love all this fancy stuff. It was just very like.
That's so good.
And of course, like I wrote down on my notes, I love the drunk girl. Later, I found out that was Sheila. Okay.
Yeah. Sheila's amazing.
Yeah.
She was so good.
I think watching them perform WAP at the beginning.
Amazing. I love that they're in a redneck biker bar that aren't really supposed to be there.
Yeah.
They're already getting some contention, and the first song they pick is WAP.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a classic drag queen move.
Yeah. And I think that was all the drag I needed to see this year. I think I was good, I met my quota.
Watching Drag Race now would seem like too much.
Yeah. I haven't even seen the new season because they make it so hard to watch it now.
God, yeah. If it's in your own home country, it's like you can't watch it
ridiculous.
anywhere.
I don't get it. I don't get it. So I just watched the Pit Stop.
Oh yeah.
Which I haven't watched any of this season yet on Pit Stop either. I've heard it's not good, so I don't know. I've heard they're not entertaining.
This season
they're kind of bland.
It's not bad.
No.
There are some that are really cool, but there are some that are a little delusional.
Okay. Well, that's what happens when you I don't know, when you bring your drag up through like Instagram and things like that,
Yeah.
rather than having a personality or
Performing
developing
in
your
the real
character,
world. Yeah.
or, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Depends on the queens.
It depends on the queens. Oh my god, what I like laughed at was the guy was using the urinal, and then the vampire like comes up behind. He's like a big bear basically, and he comes up behind him and like looks in the mirror behind him. It was like a scene, like a something that would scare me in a bar.
Oh yeah.
Some bear coming up behind me while I'm peeing. Like, hi. I'm pee shy as well, so it would be.
It was like a double scare going on.
It's a
right
double
now.
scare.
My thing with that too is like, I mean, he looked in the mirror and you could see him in the mirror, so they're obviously not following regular vampire rules.
Yeah, well, the crosses too. That
Cross didn't work.
No.
The garlic worked.
The garlic works.
The whole "you need to be invited in" thing was a thing.
Yeah. Which they had a fluorescent sign outside that says "Come on in."
So that counted as inviting them in.
Yeah.
So he's like, "That's not gonna work," and then it just cuts to that sign outside.
Yeah. He's like, "What? I bought it when I didn't think vampires were good."
And then they could walk in the sun.
Yes.
And it was like daywalkers, and then I was like, "Is this like a day drag reference?"
I'm sure someone has said that before.
Right?
I haven't
called them
heard it, but I'm
daywalkers.
sure someone knows.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, if I'm in a bar and it has the mirrors above the urinals, or even, God forbid, a trough, I will not use it. I will leave. I can't. There was a bar in San Francisco that had a trough and a mirror above it, but the mirror was angled down.
Of course it was.
So you can look at everyone else.
Yeah.
And like, absolutely not. I waited until no one was in there because I had to be so bad.
I mean, there's like, even whenever you have like urinals with like the blockers in between.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had instances here at a game where somebody's always trying to look over, and I'm just like,
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never had that. People don't flirt with me. Do I have an aura?
I'm pretty sure the only reason they were doing that is because they were kind of drunk.
No one ever does that to me. No one's ever done that to me.
It's only really happened.
Now I feel hurt.
Oh my god.
Because no one's ever tried to look at me.
It's only really happened to me once. I've had just random stuff happen to me in game bars.
Yeah. Anyway.
Didn't say they were fun.
Well, we get to see the first vampire kill driving a stake through their heart, and then they turn into glitter, which was apt.
It was like gold glitter, which was great.
It was like Twilight
reference.
Yeah.
And gay, all in one.
That was great. I wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting
that. No.
I thought like, oh god, they're gonna like, burst into some gross whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like glitter.
Just a big explosion of glitter that disappears.
God, some of the one-liners too, even from like the side cast, like.
Yes.
I remember. Oh god, the short one who was giving like strong kind of non-binary energy.
Oh yes.
Amazing. They were amazing. But they were like. Yeah, that's like so cis dude of you or whatever. And the guy's like, I'm not a sissy.
I'm not a sissy. That was so funny.
I was like, this is the dumbest like dad joke and one-liner crap.
I wrote that too. And
I love it.
I wrote another one-liner right before that Caramel says, like, did you just say motherfucking vampires? It was just, I don't know, the way she said it.
The way she said it.
Beautiful.
It was because it was right after she stabbed somebody, they burst into smoke, and she's like, did you say motherfucking vampires? It's so great.
So one of the rednecks too had like a little jab where they. Oh yeah, it was the main redneck guy.
Travis.
I keep forgetting. I'm gonna write it down. Travis. He made a Scarlet Pimpernel reference as a joke, like as a jab at someone, and I'm like, it was like a literary reference.
You're like, how the hell did you know that?
I'm like, how would he know that? That's great.
That's amazing.
Well, I think it's like playing into the the homophobe being gay.
Oh yeah,
of course. And I don't know, but I don't know if that actor's gay, but he gave the vibes. I don't know. Yeah.
You can tell he's at least cool.
He's at least really cool.
Yeah. He's at least an ally.
I laughed like every time they shot. The bartender had the shotgun through the window. Because the vampire would like pop up
and then you just shoot it. It was like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
And it was like, we need to barricade this window, and they only do like half the window, and then they just keep popping like, up in the window.
Later he says, "We need to finish barricading this window." It's so funny.
Well, I love it because even the barricade in the basement was already on the window. Then it got knocked off, and then they just put it back up, and they're like, "Yeah, that's stable." And it's like not even nailed into anything.
It was just like all one piece.
It was just one piece. He just put it up. I was like, "This
such
is
a prop." It was
so ridiculous.
Speaking of you mentioned something about the vampires. Anyway, they're obviously like intelligent vampires. They're not like bloodthirsty beast vampires.
Yeah.
They're like.
Well, my thing too
is
still
like, people.
Yeah, my thing too is like vampires can talk.
Well, some movies they don't.
No, they make them like crazy grunty, crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
There actually was a movie called Daywalkers where it was.
Oh, okay.
They were like
kind of zombie-esque.
Weird, crazy. They were like, well, it was like when you got past a certain point, you became just like this feral creature. Yeah.
Which actually, the vampire at the beginning that starts all of this is one of those.
Is turning into that.
Yeah.
Or like
that's
is
true.
Gotten to that point.
He looks like Nosferatu kind of like, but very poorly done.
I will say like I did love the makeup and the prosthetics in this for the vampires just because they made them look like such 90s Buffy vampires.
Yeah.
Like Buffy or I don't know. Angel, like it's just like those cheesy CW,
they were totally
like
that.
WB shows back in the day.
Yeah.
They totally look like that, or like the demons from Charmed.
Yeah.
And they just give them those like big like eyebrow on their forehead and like just like on these prosthetics around their eyes and make them look all sunken in with like the fake teeth and the red eyes. Amazing.
I laughed at Crystal Method also in the air ducts, like the HVAC ducts, because she looked like a xenomorph in the duct.
Oh my god, a xenomorph in the duct,
wearing all that black leather
bondage. And it's something she's like, the bondage was not the way to go with this. She's like, it's just you just squeak the leather rubber squeak.
That was so funny.
It was so funny.
I did like that.
And she's got a costume change every like.
I love that she changed her costume.
30 minutes, she's got a costume.
Well, no, she said each act.
Oh yeah.
So each act of the movie,
did have a costume change.
She changed her costume.
So good.
Crystal also was really funny when she was throwing shit at the vampire that was chasing her.
And just missing every single time.
That would totally be me. I can't throw for shit.
Oh my God.
I'm just like throwing
It's just like going around their head.
Missing
like, completely missing all of it.
That was great.
Shattering plates, missing everything. It's like the equivalent of the person who runs like, oh my god, they're going to get me. And then they tripped over nothing. And then they come back like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I just wrote this half of this line down, and I don't remember what the rest of it was. Where somebody says, like a lesbian at a Subaru dealership.
Damn it! I can't remember the line.
I don't know, but it was like
was so good.
It was like, you're looking at me like a lesbian at a Subaru dealership. So funny.
I'm like, do not call them out like that. So good. I just think the one-liners were just great.
Yeah.
And like, I will say like the last fight scene in it, because a lot of the fights in it were cheesy and like very kind of like slower and just like moving whatever. Yeah. But the last fight when they let them all into the bar actually got crazy.
Yeah, it was actually choreographed.
And you could tell it was like fully choreographed. Like fight scene, and like I couldn't even tell if they were using stunt doubles or if like the queens actually learned how to like.
Some of it was them.
It was them doing the choreo.
And
I'm sure they had stunt doubles just in case. But like, I mean, imagine being the stunt double for a drag queen and having to put all that.
Oh my god.
Identically.
Yeah.
So that, but yeah, you could tell they learned the choreo for a lot of that fight scene stuff, and even if they just used angles and fast camera motions to make it actually look like everything was going on, that last one was pretty good.
I loved Crystal Method, like just like the punches, just heavy fucking punches.
Heavy punches, and the sound effects were so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that last fight was great. Also, the music in this, it's just like, it's that vague 80s music.
Yeah. It
Worked very well for it.
80s horror synth music, which
Yeah.
it really worked. Yeah.
Very like It Follows or something. Where it uses that synth kind of horror music. So good.
Heidi's romance was constantly foiled throughout the whole
until the end.
Until just, they go into kiss and it's just something happens every time. And the last time she's like, what is she? She's like, motherfucker or something.
Yeah.
She's like mouthing something.
I love that they had like multiple of those things that end up spanning and hitting the third act. Crystal's costume changes, Heidi's romance, the bartender finally getting put into drag.
Yeah.
Like everything was like started, kept going, and actually finished.
Let's talk about him getting put into drag and also like the romances with the romance with Heidi. Okay, like it's I think like this movie did a good job of taking tropes and kind of turning them on their heads or pointing them out more, which I think is cute. I always like that.
Especially when you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
If you're doing it and then you're like, I don't know what you mean, that it's like cliche. It's like just own it.
Oh yeah, totally.
When you own it, it's better.
Because like this
tropes are gonna happen regardless of what movie you're making. You're gonna have a couple of
them. Yeah.
Like just own it.
Yeah. There's always that horror movie thing where, you know, it's like the most tense thing ever is going on, and people are like, suddenly start talking about like, I love
in
you,
the middle of the
blah blah, you know,
as everybody's fighting around them.
And that's what they did in this. They like had everyone fighting around them purposefully, you know, while they're like, oh, I love you.
The one that I always see is it's one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And it's whenever like the East India Trading Company guy's ship is getting blown to pieces, and he's just calmly walking down the stairs as cannonballs are like blowing his ship to pieces, and it's like such that trope of like just chaos around you as you're just doing something, and it like it works, but like it's such a trope of like, let's just stop in the middle of this huge fight scene that's going on around us to do a monologue or talk really quick or like do a love scene
or spend like how many hours putting someone in drag.
Oh yeah,
and dyeing their hair.
Because at least during that they weren't like actually fighting yet.
No, but like it was in the middle of like it was
in the middle of a tense moment. It was in the middle of a tense moment
where there's this whole thing that happens while all the like, you know, like that would be the last thing on your mind, and like, but they want to like. It wants to show that like, oh, humanity keeps going, normal things happen, and I'm like, I don't know. I always get annoyed by that in an actual movie where they're not, where they're being serious about it.
They're being serious about it. I mean, it's true for even movies like, I can point out like Lord of the Rings. Like they're in the middle of a huge battle, but then all of a sudden, even though you were just fighting somebody and you're still surrounded by enemies, you're able to just like stop and like look at something dramatically, and like nothing's gonna happen to you because it's just you in the moment. And
exactly.
It's like, some people attack you. I don't know. Come on.
Yeah.
But like it's moments like that, and it's like I don't mind them.
No.
Especially if they're like drawing attention to it, whatever. But this one, definitely turned it on its head and made it like not just funny, but also like endearing.
Yeah.
Because
for
it was, even the Heidi romance part where they're all actually fighting around them and they're having that moment, I was like, this is like funny. This works.
I loved it. I still liked it.
Also, another rule I just remembered was killing the OG vampire was not a thing in this, because she kills the OG, but it doesn't kill the rest of them.
Yeah, I was expecting that to happen.
I thought it was going to be like a point of contention.
Yeah. Of
like, because Crystal gets turned, and a couple of their friends get turned.
Oh, by the way, there are good vampires in this as well. Like, stay with me.
Apparently, if you're a dick as a human, you're a dick as a vampire.
Basically, yeah. If you're like a good person, which was mostly the gay people in this movie. Well, they were
the gay people and Sheila.
Oh, and Sheila. Yeah. They turned into good vampires because like if they wouldn't hurt anybody in life, they're not going to hurt anybody when they turn.
Well, also, Sheila not dying was amazing because she does get stabbed.
Thought she was gonna die,
but it ripped out her fake boob.
Yes, and her line was great because I wrote it down. Oh, fucker got me right in the titty.
And then she just pulls out the implant,
and her implant comes out. Oh my god. And then, like, I forget who was standing next to her, but they're just looking down at her.
Just like, oh my god. Well, because then she's like, we go out in the sun. That doesn't mean I get to have to miss, like, bikini season. And then she looks at her chest and she's like, I'm going to have to get myself a new titty.
I know. I'm going to have to get me a new titty.
That was fantastic.
I wrote another line down here, but yeah, I can't read it. I love how, like, as the movie goes on and it gets darker in here, I am just scribbling. The ads on Tubi are well placed, just so you know.
Yeah, that I like. Tubi's great. Tubi's also not sponsoring this video. I just want to point that out.
No, and it's free.
And it's free. So, Tubi's awesome. Not that they're sponsoring this video because they're not. But yeah, ad placement. When you place ads in a movie, maybe make sure it's not at a point of like, this scene is super tense or they're about to get in a fight scene and the fight scene's in the middle of the fight scene, ad.
Yeah.
Maybe do it before or after.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've had that with so many shows where it's like in the middle of somebody's sentence, it'll fade to black and go to an ad and then come back in the middle of the sentence and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. At the end of like a word finishes at the end when it comes back. Yeah.
And it's like I don't mind the ads, especially for a movie like this. I don't mind the ads. No, I mean it's it was a made for TV kind of movie with Tubi and stuff, and they're gonna have.
It was
ads.
made for Tubi.
It was made for Tubi.
Quality entertainment for the whole family.
Disclaimer: Tubi is not sponsoring this video. But it was for the whole family.
For the whole family.
For the whole drag family.
Yeah. Oh no, I meant the whole family.
All of the family.
The HOLE family. The whole family.
Oh, the holes? I know them.
Anyway. Yeah, that was pretty much the movie, honestly. Although, I thought it was really funny when Caramel was riding the bike back. Because a drag queen on a bike is funny.
It's already
inherently.
Funny. Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a Muppet on a bike. Because it's not, that they're not supposed to be on a bike. That's not right.
But I love that she uncovers the bike before she leaves in the movie, before she's about to take off, and you think like, oh, it's a motorcycle. Nope, just a bicycle.
Just a bicycle.
It was like biker bar, and she picks the bicycle.
Oh my god! Yeah, there's probably tons of like motorcycles. She could have grabbed. Somehow that didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I think that was the joke. It's like biker bar, but she picks the bicycle.
Oh god!
It's the Schwinn in the back.
That is so funny. But anyway, she comes back, little Muppet on a bike, and she grabbed up after she killed the OG vampire.
Yeah,
which did not kill all the rest of them.
No. She
grabs all of this garlic that was in the trunk, or the bed of the truck that was carrying produce or something. I don't know. And that was the guy at the very beginning that got turned first. Yeah. He was like, had a bunch of produce in his truck or something. A big thing of garlic. What?
My thing with this is she takes the garlic and puts it into the water system.
Into the fire system.
The fire system.
Yeah.
She activates it with a lighter, which is fine.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Wouldn't it activate all of the sprinklers, not just the ones on the stage area?
Maybe they just have sprinklers on the stage area.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it was a very smart system installed in this bar. Where only the area is affected.
Right. But I thought that was a good way to do it, because I was like, rain, and then I kept thinking holy water.
Well, no, it doesn't work like that, actually. Fire systems don't work like that. And sadly, I know this. So, no, if you break the filament in that, like, then it just sets off the one that the filament broke in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like
just one sprinkler.
All of them need heat to. Yeah, like everything needs to be on fire. The heat like melts all of the filaments.
Down, and that's how it knows when to start.
Unless it's like a smart system where it like
so you can't just activate one to activate all of them.
No
situation. So that's kind of like a fail safe to not activate every single one.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, for this it worked, but I kept thinking, because I forgot about the garlic in the truck in the beginning, so I was thinking, like, did she bless the water before she did it? It was holy water? But then she was like, garlic water! I was like, oh shit, okay.
I just knew because I saw her grab the garlic when she was...
I think I missed it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I was writing a note.
I saw her like go, oh, and like grabbed all the garlic, so I was like, oh, she put it in the... somehow put it into the fire
I think
system.
I was writing a note and I missed it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, all in all, honestly... I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. It's campy, obviously. I mean, it's drag queens versus vampires. It's great. And I saw a lot of people saying, like, we need the sequel where it's drag queens versus zombies. And I'm like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
There hasn't been, like, a drag queen zombie kind of, like... Actually, like, can we get more drag queens in movies?
I'm like...
I mean, it'd be nice, like, because, I mean, obviously, like, movies like A Star is Born had drag queens in the beginning from Drag Race and stuff. And
well, let's get, like...
it'd be cool to see serious movies with them.
Yeah, I'm like, let's get someone like Jinx Monsoon.
Her in a comedy?
That can act.
Yeah.
Especially in a comedy.
And especially in a comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but making movies like this... For them, I think that's great. Like, they're just fun
totally,
to watch.
Yeah,
like,
it was just fun. It was, when I first saw the premise of this, I saw some kind of advertisement for it or something. I was just, grown, like, ugh,
Yeah.
It's going to be like one, like, long, like, drag race acting challenge. It's going to be horrible. But then I started seeing other people reviewing it, and they really liked it.
I kept saying, like, oh, it's good, it's good, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, like, surprisingly good and all this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, it was surprisingly good.
No, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Like, I think I'm gonna rate it 3 6-inch heels and 1 3-inch heel.
So what does that make?
3.5.
3.5. Okay,
3.5 heels.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.5 titty.
3.5 titty.
Or 3.5 garlics, something like that. Yeah. Let's go with that. You can watch it too on Tubi.
On Tubi.
On Tubi. That's Tubi. It's a free app. It's free, so
It just has ads.
You have no excuse.
Yeah, you just have to worry about ads. That's
they just had, but there weren't that many ads. They were just poorly placed.
Yeah. And again, this video was not sponsored by Tubi.
I feel like this might be sponsored by Tubi.
It might be sponsored by Tubi, but only because Tubi's free, so they don't have to give us anything.
They didn't give us anything. So here you go. So you have no excuse not to watch Slay on Tubi. Until next time, you better like and subscribe this, or I'm going to send Robin Banks after you.
But which Robin Banks?
Which one, though? And like and subscribe, comment, questions, comments, concerns.
Questions, comments, concerns, yeah. We did take a week off, and this was like a week where we were back. Just, busy schedules and stuff.
I was in rehab. For the 10th time.
For the 10th time.
One of these days it's going to take. One of these days. Not today, though.
Here, after your 10th visit, the next one's free, though.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, do you get a free ice cream cone, too?
Yes, but it's methadone.
All you have to say to me is, yes, but it's mint chocolate chip.
But it's mint chocolate chip.
Ew.
That's my favorite ice cream.
I hate it so much.
A friend told me, about mint chocolate chip, why would I want my ice cream to be colder?
Right?
And I was like, that's pretty funny.
And why would I mix chocolate and toothpaste together? Like, why would I do that?
That's fantastic. All right, until next time, goodbye.
Bye.